Hi, hello, hi, hello, how you doing? And welcome back to Tough Wisdom. I'll be giving you some good information because information is informed action. So, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I made a video. I'm trying to make this more frequent. I was thinking of doing them every Wednesday. That was the plan. But the more I started doing them, I feel like I should do this more frequent because I feel like the more I do them, the more it also enhances my own growth as well as your own. Because, you know, we're experiencing more because life is all about experiences. It's all about like accumulation of experiences. So the more you experience, the more you learn. Because if I tell you anything and you don't really experience it, you don't really learn. You know what I mean? So with all this information that I tell you, I'm gonna try and incorporate some practical uses of it as to how you can actually use this information to your benefit and grow into your greater self. So yeah, man. This is mine. This is me. This is Taff. So in today's video, I'm just gonna be diving deeper into the mental universe and the things that I do in my mind. Just as an introduction, I'm gonna try and dive into things like meditation, things like visualizations, and positive thinking. I'm gonna go a bit more into that as you progress through the video, but again, welcome to my channel, and this is my inner verse. This is how I think, and this is how I process the information that's around me, and this is how I progress in life. Because with everything that you receive in life, it's all about finding what you can do with it. Can you use this information or can you not? Because if you don't do that, when you just collect information, you just collecting rubbish. You know what I mean? You just become a walking bin bag. Because of the information that you're collecting has no practical uses. So whenever you're perceiving anything, or whenever you're presented with any form of information, try and learn from it, experience it as much as you can, and find practical uses for that information, because information is informed action. So I'm gonna start a bit on meditation, because meditation is my favorite thing. I meditate at least 3 or 4 times a day. Sometimes could be 2 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes half an hour, sometimes even just a minute. It varies. For me, meditation, as to how I've understood it, is a way to organize your thoughts, to a way to organize your thinking, organize your mind, so that it can help you move in the direction that you want it to. So in meditation, by default, you just end up doing any visualizations. So when you do visualizations, essentially what you're doing is you're picturing something that is not in front of you and bringing it into your mind. So what that does is, like I said, we live in a mental universe. Is the universe we live in, most of what we experience is a manifestation of our thoughts. So essentially, what you do is in your mind, what your mind does is it paves the way for you to experience life, right? So if you are constantly creating new ideas with your imagination and wheeling them into your reality, you have much more favorable experiences that enhance your growth, because you're always experiencing new situations and uncovering new beliefs, and also in that expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, which lead to self-mastery, because you know yourself. So in meditation, most of what's happening is you're receiving your thoughts, you're analyzing your thinking. You're not analyzing per se, but you're just observing your thoughts. You're observing yourself, because your thoughts, the way you think and the way you process information, is that what makes up your behaviors and your personality. So essentially, the way you are, what you think, or you are how you think, that kind of thing. So in meditation, what you're doing is you're observing yourself, you're observing what you think. Most of the time, because your eyes are closed, most of that information is the information that is within your subconscious mind, because you're not conscious of your perceived reality, right? So because most of the information is in your subconscious mind, it allows you to see how you think and how you process information. That will also help you cultivate your mindset, because if you realize that you think in a certain way, and obviously your life is not how you'd like it to be, then that also gives you the opportunity to change. That gives you the opportunity to grow and become your greater self. And obviously by improving your mindset as well, because the way you start to incorporate the new information, or the old information, will be different. So that would therefore give you a different set of results. So that is meditation, and obviously in meditation you're doing your visualizations. So what you're doing in visualization, sometimes, not sometimes, always, when you're in your mind, in your imagination, your body cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is not real. So what's happening is, in your mind, like I said last time, you have three bodies, right? From my understanding anyway, you have three main bodies. You have your physical body, which is made up of cells, which is like organic. That's your organic body, yeah? Your physical body, your physical form, that's organic. That's your organic body. Then you also have your ethereal body, or your electro body, as I like to say it. This is the body that is generated when the cells are communicating. They generate like electrical impulses when they're sending signals from through the synapses and all that good, and all that, you know what I mean. And so that generates an electrical current, which also makes another form of your body. Then you also have your life force. Your life force is your soul, or could be your spirit, could be something that gives you life, something that is connected to you, but it also is a part of you. It's a part of you, but it's away from you. Does that make sense? It's a part of you which is apart from you. Does that make sense? I think so. Yeah. So yeah, man, that is your soul. That is the life force. That is your true self. That is what gives you life. So in terms of when you're aware of these energies, so your life force, right, is then what comes into what makes you the way you are. It's like you are the manifestation of that life force, in essence. Like the way you develop is based upon how you express your life force, if that makes sense. Which is why people are different in that way, because they're just unique expressions of the same thing. They are supposed to be unique in the sense that the more information we uncover, the more we get to learn about ourselves. Because the life force is just as ignorant as you are, because it just in accordance to how we have been taught to understand the creation of life, something came from nothing. It was like nothing manifesting itself into something. So because of that, that's what started the process of creation, because this something we just became is trying to understand itself. So but trying to understand itself, what it's doing in that sense is it's creating, because creation is kind of like movement. It's a form of movement. So if you have something in your mind and you don't move to try and do it, you will never really create it. So in that sense, that's how we are connected to the life force, because we're just an expression of the life force trying to get to know itself. So the more we experience, the more information we send back to the life force, and the more it gets to know itself, and the more you know yourself, and the more the life force wants to create. Because it's like life is a puzzle, right? In essence, life is a puzzle, and the more you do the puzzle, or the more you put the pieces together, the more you begin to see the picture. But unless you actually actively put the pieces together, you never really know what the full picture will look like of just the pieces. That's like without the manual, without looking at the box. But obviously, when you have things like astrology, which kind of like things like astrology help you understand it's like your manual. Your astrology is like your manual. I'll get into that in a bit more detail when I've understood it in more detail myself. In the meantime, I'm still learning about astrology because I've just started this journey. But from what I've learned, it's very essential about learning about yourself. As much as I've learned about myself as I've been doing astrology, it's just magnificent. Like I'm moving towards, like, everything that it says is in alignment with the kind of person that I am. So I recommend that you look into astrology, because astrology is the study of the stars. And essentially, if you think about how we are made of the same stuff, or the same compounds, or the same atoms that make the stars. So essentially, by studying the stars, you're studying yourself. But obviously most people don't look at it that way, but that's how you should. Because if you think about it from a natural perspective, and for anything to grow, it requires water and sunlight. We know that sunlight is what allows us to see, and sunlight is what allows for things to grow, because of the heat it provides, the nourishment, the light. You know what I mean? Like everything always grows where there's light. And also, growth requires water, and from what I've understood, the moon is what I mean. The moon affects the tides, affects the movement of water, and as human beings, we're about 75-80% water. So you'd assume that we are also affected by the moon, just as the water and the rest of nature is. So by understanding how these astrological bodies affect your body, it helps you understand yourself as well, because you are everything and everything is you. So from my understanding, spirituality is the study of self. So when you get to study yourself, you get to know yourself, and the only way to get to know yourself is to go within yourself, so that you can understand how yourself moves and how everything around you, works. Hence, I say we live in a mental universe, because when you understand your thinking, you can change your thinking, and then in turn change yourself. But all that begins in the mind. So in terms of positive thinking, I feel like I'm just talking a bit too much right now. I'm just talking to you guys. I'm trying to make this video short and concise, but with greater detail and more information that you guys can actually use and find a way to grow yourself with it. So now I'm just gonna get a bit more into positive thinking and how a positive mindset can help you grow and help you experience life to its fullest, and help you have a more profound experience of life and appreciate it and live your life in gratitude, because of all the things that you want. In terms of, you have the joy that you wish for, you have all the happiness, you have the love, health, I've already said health, wealth, wisdom, prosperity, everything in abundance. Because the universe is in abundance, everything in the world is in abundance, right? The world does not lack, and neither should you. I feel like we're here to experience life to its fullness. We're here to understand the glory of life. To live life and appreciate it for its glory. So think of it in religious terms, right? I'm gonna go in terms of Christianity, because I was born and raised a Christian, so most of the information that I've learned about spirituality is also in Christianity. Majority of it is from Christianity, but I've just understood it in my own way, and that's what I'm just sharing with you guys, so that you can just understand it from how I've understood it, because I've found more practical uses for the way I've understood it than the way it is written. So for most people, they just like to take it as it is. I like to play around with it, because I feel like information like that was written in the way that it was, so that it can last for as long as it has, for a reason. So we should try to learn from it rather than just read it and just take it for what it is. So yeah, man, in terms of positive thinking, essentially the way your body works, I'm gonna talk from your organic body first. When you touch something, you have like a sensation, like your cells or the receptors on your skin feel the sensation, and then that sensation is then converted into electricity when your cells are communicating together, and that electricity is then what gives you the experience, or allows you to charge it for whatever you want it to be. So if you think of it that way, every time when you experience something, you generate an electrical current, and if you're always experiencing the same thing, you have similar patterns that are always being generated. So when you're always doing that, it's like when you're walking on the same road every single day, you create routine, and when something becomes routine, it becomes automatic, right? So what that is in most people's cases, their thinking is not favorable for them. It doesn't favor their growth. So it means, and they've made a pattern of that kind of thinking. So it means that everything they're always going to do is always going to be unfavorable, and that's how people end up in depression, because they're not living the life they would like to, because their automatic responses are not favorable to their growth. So if you're someone who always exercises positive thinking, you start to embody positive thinking, you start to live positive thinking, so you become in alignment. So you're thinking, so what's in your imagination and what's in your perceived reality is in alignment. So I was there's this guy, he's I forgot his name now. When I remember his name, I'll put it in the description, and then you guys can just check out some of his content, because I feel like he's been a great teacher of mine. I've learned so much from him in terms of understanding how the Bible was written, when it was written, the people it was written for, and the intended purpose for it, so that I can understand it and extrapolate some information from there. Not extrapolate, sorry, extract some I guess I was too excited when I extrapolate. But yeah, and then extract some extract some information from that one, and then use that information to help myself grow and understand myself more. Because how I understand it is, life is pretty simple. Life is in three. Life comes in three, right? The great Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand life, think of it in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. And he said the numbers 3, 6, and 9 are important in the universe. And from how I've observed the universe as well, I've seen that a lot of things, they are in threes. I've looked at the number 3 and the significance of the number 3 and understanding the number 3. Right? So most of the things that I do, they're usually either multiples of 3 or can be divided by 3. I think it's the same thing. Yeah. So something like that. So it kind of helps you understand. So in terms of your mind, there's your conscious mind, subconscious mind, and your superconscious mind. So going back again into Christianity, we are taught that when you live life, you should live your life to the fullest so that you can end up in heaven, right? So there is heaven, hell, and earth, and we're here on earth, and doing deeds on earth, and then obviously when we die, we either go to hell if we had done bad things or things that weren't, enhancing growth, and we go to heaven if we had done good deeds, helping other people grow as well. So when you do things that enhance growth, you go to heaven, and when you do things that don't enhance growth, you go to hell. So from how I've understood it and how I take it is, every day is an experience, and you don't have to die to experience heaven. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to die to experience heaven. So it's like every time when you're conscious of the thing, of your environment, of the thing that you perceive, and you're consciously making your decisions as you go, and those decisions that you're making are enhancing growth, the results that you get from there are much more favorable, and is what would then class as heaven for you. So that is how I've understood it. So if when you do things that are not favorable and that kind of makes you feel unworthy of yourself and kind of reduce your self-esteem, you experience unfavorable feelings of either illnesses, depression, etc., and that can be your hell. So life can be looked at in terms of from the smallest thing, from the smallest detail, which is when you go within and observe yourself, and life can also be looked at from the greater scale of things, which is when you study your astrology, because of the study of the stars, things that are outside of you. So as I'll be going more into more videos, I'm going to be telling you more about the 7 hermetic principle, and I've just been informing you and just telling you what I've learned about the first principle, which is the universe is mental. So that's the first law, is the law of mentalism. The universe is mental, the all is mind. So everything happens in your mind, and that's what I've just been showing you and just trying to share with you. So as I'll be going deeper into this video, I'm going to start off and go into a bit more into the second law of it. The second law is the law of correspondence. Is how your inner verse corresponds with your outer verse, right? So when you understand that symbiotic relationship between what is within and what is without, that all what is within and what is without is all the same thing, are all aspects of the same thing, you begin to understand life more, and you begin to live life as you'd like it to be, because there's more alignment, there's more synchronicity between your being, and you just enjoy life. You know what I mean? You just love life, and yeah, you just live in bliss, and you enjoy peace, and you're peaceful, and you are achieving great things, and you're inspiring a lot of people with your actions. And yeah, man. So this is TaffWisdom, and thank you again for joining me in this video, and I hope to see you again as you join me in my next videos and as we progress in this journey we call life. So peace and enjoy.